Hello, children and grandchildren. Grandpa Poe is very pleased and gratified that you want to reply back about where you might live and some of the things about your life. And you have asked what different things about Grandpa Poe's life. And Grandpa Poe has traveled all over much of the world. And so I may have been in your country or maybe even your town. So we may have had a connection in the past that we don't even realize. Wouldn't that be nice to know? During Grandpa Poe's requirements was that he visit other airlines around the world. And one of the airlines that he had to visit was South African Airlines. South African Airlines. Their main base was in Cape Town. Do I have any children or grandchildren in Cape Town? Do I have any in all of Africa? I'll bet I do, because Africa's very big. Very big. And Grandpa Poe is very glad that he can entertain children around the world. And there are many children and grandchildren in Africa that send Grandpa Poe things saying that they enjoy having Grandpa Poe talk to them. Okay, one of the times that Grandpa Poe had to go to Africa, he went to South African Airlines, which is down in Cape Town. While he was there, he had the opportunity to go out into the bush. If you're from Africa, you know what the bush is. That's out in the country. Out in the country where sometimes there's a lot of wild animals. He got invited to go to this game farm where there were all kinds of wild animals. And there was a caretaker at the farm, and he's the adult in this picture. His name was George, and George drove this Land Rover Jeep, and he could drive it all over the game farm. George was actually part of the Maasai Tribe in Africa. He was Maasai, and he was married, but he had to leave his village to go and look after this farm. And many times he was the only one there on the farm. And this one time he had brought his two sons. His name was George, and his sons' name were James and John. Those are the two young boys there. And they were going to school, but this was their summertime. Now, do you think you can see Grandpa there in that picture? He's the fella with the white hair, and the wind was blowing that day, and the wind was blowing Grandpa Poe's hair all around. That was funny. And Grandpa Poe I was so glad to be able to meet George's sons, James and John. And they were very glad to meet Grandpa Poe. Yes, this was in South Africa, is where this picture was taken. And George thought Grandpa Poe should have something from South Africa. And so he gave Grandpa Poe a gift. And here it is. This gift that George gave to Grandpa Poe was made by his tribe. Do you recognize what kind of an animal this is? Maybe you saw it in a book somewhere. Do you recognize it? It's made out of solid wood. And George's tribe, the Maasai Tribe, manufactured these animals, and it's called a hippopotamus. Can you say that? Hippopotamus. And if you looked in some books, you would find pictures of hippopotamuses. They're only native to Africa. Once in a while, if you live in the United States or some other country and you go to a zoo, you will see a hippopotamus. And Grandpa Poe has one. And actually, he was given 3. One for him, one for his son, and one for daughter Poe. And I was able to bring them back. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Now, Grandpa Poe needs a little sip of something to drink. And here it is right here. Ah. 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 Okay. My children and grandchildren, did we have fun today? Didn't we have fun? Did you find Grandpa's stories interesting? I hope so. I hope I didn't bore you. But there were many children and grandchildren that said they would like to know more about Grandpa Poe and what he did. So that's what I tried to do today. Now, if I didn't mention your country today, please don't worry and don't feel bad, because Grandpa Poe will do many more of these things, talking to you about different things and different places and things that might be of interest to you. And so you stay tuned in, because if you didn't hear your country mentioned before or your place mentioned before, it may come in the future, because there's going to be more of these. Won't that be fun?